Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of BT Talks. Today, I have the pleasure to have a good friend of mine, Yancy. He is based in LA. He is just an incredible person. He's been a fitness coach for over 10 years, actually number one at Equinox. There he is. I see him. Let me have him join. Yancy's in the house.
Benjamin, how are you, brother?
I'm very good. And you? How's
Good. I'm
everything?
good. Life is delicious, brother.
I love that. Life is delicious.
Yeah.
Did,
A,
did, did you
a,
come up with that?
no, I didn't. A good friend of mine named Marvin, who owns a restaurant. He owns a restaurant called the Pizza Plant, and or he has all of these, delivery. He's in Whole Foods, all these things. He's a big friend of mine, and he actually created this entire line, and I've watched the development of it. Anyway, every time I ask him how he's doing, he always says life is delicious, and it's a
that,
beautiful thing.
that's a good one. I'm going to start using it more often, but it's a good one. It
Yeah.
sets you in a good mood. You know, it's like, how are you? Life is delicious.
Well, good morning, man. It's great to see you. It's been a long time. It's great to be on with you.
Great to see you. It's been a while. So, Yancy, welcome to BT Talks. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. So, Yancy and I have been friends for quite a few years. I know Yancy from Los Angeles. He actually was my trainer at Equinox. That's how we
Hmm.
connected.
Yes, sir.
He's just an awesome guy, and top-notch trainer. And he's been so I think to start is to start with your journey, because you have a very
Yeah.
interesting journey, like a lot of people, and you also actually followed a lot of journeys of others and helped them in their journey. So we're going to talk a
Yeah.
lot about that today. So today it's nothing to do with real estate, but it's a lot about mindset, wellness, our journey, and I think it's going to be very interesting. So tell us your journey, where you started and how you got into the fitness industry, and then now more coaching, but you're still,
Yeah.
in the fitness industry.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a trainer, and I'll always be a trainer, man. There's nothing more fun than getting physical, but I have certainly expanded over the last 5 years and do more coaching, helping people in other goals, emotional well-being, spiritual well-being. I'm addiction recovery specialist, so a lot of my work with people has to do with, you know, helping people through the freedom of drugs, alcohol, overeating, social media addiction, which is now a big one.
It's a
And
drug. A lot of people are addicted.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But a little bit about my journey. I grew up here in Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in West Hollywood now, but I grew up in a part of town called Gardena, which is about 30 minutes south of here. And I grew up in with a single mom who did the very best she could. She was a really hardworking, amazing woman. She passed about 22 years ago or so now, almost 23 years ago. And she was just a hard worker. I was the fourth of four kids. I was the youngest, and I was kind of free to do whatever I wanted. She did an awesome job. She gave me, because of the difficulty my older brothers had in life, she put me in private school because my
Yeah.
older brothers were in a lot of trouble. I have three older brothers and two have passed already. So
Wow.
one was killed when I was 21, and one passed about 6 years ago from lupus, and also a lot of really hard living.
Yeah.
But my brothers they had a tough time growing up. They were kind of always into something, and my mom said, you know what, I'm going to use whatever resources I have left to make sure that my baby is safe. So she put me in
That's great.
private
Yeah.
school, and it was good because I was definitely an impressionable kid. I was definitely an impressionable kid. Whatever anybody thought was a good idea and whatever I thought was a good idea, I went with. So fortunately, in school, I had really good friends who got good grades and did all that stuff. So I did too. We played sports. I did too.
So you put yourself in a good environment.
Yeah. And with half of my life, the other half of my life, my oldest brother, who's much older than me, he's the one who passed of lupus a while back.
Sure.
He lived in Long Beach, and I hung with a little bit of a rougher crowd when I was with him.
Got
And
it.
that's when at a very young age, 12, 13, is when I started doing drugs. It's when I started. Marijuana was my first drug, and I did that for a while. And it was great for me because I never felt comfortable in my own skin. So what that let me do at a young age is it allowed me to fit in with people, you know. So it was a blessing in a way because it finally freed my mind of all that fear,
Yeah.
but it was a curse because I was such um, a get out of your own brain kind of person that I actually jumped into that world, and I jumped in pretty heavy until I hit alcohol at 18. And 18, it was kind of like the wheels just went off of the train, and I just went crazy. So we'll talk more about that too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, what you're saying, go through tough moments like that, lose loved ones, go through drugs, alcohol, because we live in a not so easy world. I mean, we're lucky we live in great cities and we live in the US, but it's not as always perfect. And there's ways to go through that. And I think you're very good at helping people in their journey. I mean, the first time I met you, it's first impressions, but I was like, this guy is like the energy you have, the smile you have, the way like, and that's why people, love you. You train some amazing people, some celebrities and some,
Hmm.
normal people, but they just connect with you because of the vibe. And I think it's, all of us, we have to be very generous and give good vibes to people, whatever we're going through. So
Yeah, for sure, and that a part of that goes along with the story. So drugs and alcohol became a major part of my life at 18. 18 through 26, I'll spare you the details, but it was extremely rough. I did tons of drugs, tons of alcohol. It became my coping mechanism for everything. I lost my brother. It was a very, very tough time. But there was one silver lining. Somewhere in that phase, I found personal development, and I found it through books. So at that age, at about 21, 22, I picked up personal development books and I started reading them. It took many years, like 3, 4 years, before it started having any effect on my life, but it did plant the seed. So that was like, oh, okay, you can be a better person. You can achieve more. You can do more. And you don't need a lot to do it. You just need to go within or connect with a higher power or whatever have you. And I also found some people in my life who were getting sober. I found people in my life who were getting sober through Alcoholics Anonymous, which I did at 26. And once I got sober at 26, all of that personal development book stuff started kicking in. I started reading more and doing more, and I eventually found my way to fitness. It took a while, but I found my way to fitness, and that's when I got into personal training, and my life really took off. And you found me
it's a,
like not
of
too not
course,
too
of
long after
course.
that.
So just a little parenthesis. I have quite a few friends joining from London, Dubai, some from Miami, saying hello. So, and they're also very much into, well-being. So that's really cool. And I'm sure you guys are enjoying the conversation. So, I think personal development is a big thing. I think fitness is a big thing in all of our lives. We don't need to be, and I think everybody needs a coach also. I mean, there is nobody that can do anything themselves, and we all go through tough times. I
Hmm.
myself also, read a lot of books, listen to different podcasts. Uh, Same thing, fitness every day. I train because it's just good for my mind and my body. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember the training sessions we were doing together. It was insane, and I
yeah,
loved it. It was really,
yeah.
really good. So so before fitness, you didn't jump into fitness immediately. You were a little
No.
bit, I think, into banking, if I'm
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So after I got clean and sober at 26, for me, I think it really presented a great opportunity because it gave me like a blank, clean slate to be like, what do you want to do with your life? And I didn't graduate from college, so I didn't know what I wanted to do. But fortunately, one of my best friends was a financial advisor, and he is in his mid 40s and he's already retired, and he was dead broke when he went into finance. So that shows you what kind of success level that he had.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's like, dude, I think you'd be good at this, Yancy. You're really well at connecting with people. You can probably connect with other brokers who maybe have are already longer in the business, and you may be able to do the grind work. Like you find the leads, they close the leads, stuff like that. Yeah, so it taught me a lot about partnership. I went into finance, and I was a financial advisor for about 4.5 to 5 years with Morgan Stanley and Fidelity Investments. And that was an extremely amazing thing for me because it taught me, somebody like myself who had come from nothing, if you can have any semblance of success in a world like that, where quite frankly, I'll be frank, like 99% of financial advisors were older white males. So for me to be a young black male in his 30s, uneducated, and have a semblance of success in that world,
For
it gave
sure.
me tons of confidence, Benjamin. It gave me the confidence to know that, hey, what I was reading in these books is true. apply yourself, get stronger, better, faster in your mind, your body, and your spirit, and you can compete with anybody in any level. And that
Yeah.
was great. So I did that for 5 years. The thing is I didn't love the job. So I did it for about 5 years. I didn't
There,
love the job. It was good. I was actually around a pool in Puerto Rico, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I like this job. I don't love it. I don't know if I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. Let me see what else might be out there for me. And I
yeah.
came home and I started exploring. And that's how I ultimately found my way into fitness. It took a little bit, like about a year or two,
But
but I
it
found my
takes
way into
time.
something that I loved.
I think
Yeah.
it takes time. It's like all of us. I mean, prior to being in real estate, I, was in different businesses, always entrepreneurial, which I liked, but I didn't love. And I was like, I had this thing towards real estate. And then I was like, I have to jump in. And I jumped in at the time where I came back to New York and I'm like, I'm going to go all in as hard as it can be. And in the reality, there's no easy business. I mean, whether you're
Yeah.
in fitness, whether you're in real estate, it's a journey and you have to embrace it and you have to take step by step, and then obviously it's relationships, it's meeting the right people, being at the right time. And look,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't become number one trainer in Equinox in 1 year.
No.
It
Nope.
took quite a few years, and I think it's an achievement and it gives you tremendous confidence, but it takes a few years, and then it's
Yeah.
obviously connecting with the right people and doing also something you love. I mean, the fitness industry, there's so much to do, the wellness industry, if I can say. I'm not in the industry, but I follow it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just exceptional.
Yeah.
And I train every day. I meditate every day, which has helped me a lot. So now you pass, the whole financial
Yeah.
industry time. Now you're into fitness. So how do you
Now I'm
start?
into fitness. Now I'm into fitness. I was actually training for a marathon. I have a son who's now 12 years old, but at the time he was about 1 year old, and it was like, hey, what am I going to do for the rest of my life to take care of this guy? How am I going to provide for this guy in a way that makes me happy and fulfilled? And I was actually training for a marathon, my very first marathon. This was 2010, and I ran the Los Angeles Marathon. And while I was training, there was a friend of mine, a friend of a friend who was a personal trainer, and she said, "You know what? I think you'd be a really good personal trainer." I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about the industry. I knew I loved exercising, and I knew there was some type of passion there about helping people get better. One thing about finance, helping people get better financially is one thing.
Financially?
Helping people get better physically is a whole different animal. But helping people to be better, there's something there. When you help somebody go from one level to another, and they look at you and go, "Dude, you helped me. That was fantastic." It creates a feeling, and
$100.
I was kind of doing some research about that stuff, and I was like, I like working out, let me give it a shot. And the person that I was with at the time, because I was going to go work for Bally's or do something like that, they're like, "Why don't you check this place out called Equinox?" And I was like,
All right.
never heard of them, but let's give it a shot. And I applied for Equinox in West Hollywood and in Westwood. And fortunately, long story short, I ended up at the one in West Hollywood, and I started grinding. I started at the very beginning. I started
The
putting,
best one.
dude, I lucked out. I lucked out. Quite frankly, it's a big difference if you know those two gyms. West
No, I mean,
Hollywood,
the
Equinox
time.
West Hollywood is the fun, the entertainment gym. It's the fun gym. It's where the celebrities hang
So,
out.
so at the time I
Yeah.
was in Los Angeles, I actually lived in West Hollywood, and that's where we met at the, Equinox West Hollywood. And every time you walked into that gym, you all the time like bump into people like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
It's like Hollywood people, and then
Yeah.
actually very approachable. Very
Yeah.
like that's the whole LA thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I started connecting with all these people, and I didn't have any experience at all, but I knew one thing. If I set a goal and work toward it and don't stop, you will get there. And my goal was to be the number one trainer in my gym. My gym had about 50 trainers at that time, and there were some rock star trainers in there. And I was like,
Yeah,
I want to do more sessions than everybody in this gym. And then it's yeah, you're right. There's some people on here on this
yeah,
podcast now
Sam, my friend
that I'm
Sam
starting to
goes that way.
recognize.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yes, Westwood is so much
so
different than West
different.
Hollywood,
Yeah.
right? So I set a goal. I was like, man, there's people here who've been training for 10 years, 15 years, rock stars, buff, attractive, beautiful, the whole nine. I was like, I'm still going to be better than every single one of these people. I'm going to figure it out. And it took me about a year and a half. But in a year and a half, I was the top trainer in Equinox West Hollywood. And everything took off from there. I was building all these connections. Of course, there were people who were famous, but there was also really successful people who weren't famous, who were just business people, business minds, some of the most powerful people in the world in what they do. And I started connecting with all of them. And those people are still in my network today.
Yeah. So just to say also, I think we're both in the people business. I mean, real estate
Yeah.
is people business, fitness is people business. And I think all these people we connect with on a day-to-day basis, they connect with someone that, they see has positive energy, that is a nice person. And then with time, you gain trust. And then they're like, no, like I want to work out with Yancy, or I want to,
Yep.
find a property with Ben. And obviously experience. And, I think it doesn't take 10 years. Now,
Mm-mm.
things are a little faster. But if you also put in the time and you outwork, I think if you outwork other people, same thing in our industries. I mean, there's some people that are fitness trainers that kind of work, do it. And then, they're like this for many years and they're like, oh, it's not happening. And the same thing in real estate. I mean, especially also in Miami, it's like, it's a little late, but then there's people who work hard and then meet the right people and things happen. And I think, it's just in the world we live in today, if you're a good person, if you know your craft, if I can say, and you connect with the right people, you can make things happen.
One of the things I've learned, Benjamin, is I'm a personal trainer, but I'm also a life coach. So in that regard, I get to help people achieve all types of different goals. The steps to success, they're the same. Doesn't matter if you're in real estate. It doesn't matter if you want to get a six pack. It doesn't matter if you want to build a healthy relationship with a spouse or a partner. It doesn't matter if you want to raise your child in the best way possible. Set the goals, do the work to become as clear and healthy on the inside as you possibly can, and then create an action plan and take steps. You take steps, and guess what? Some of those steps are going to work, some of them are not. But no matter what action steps you take, you're going to create feedback. And what you do is you take that feedback and you adjust and you go. Adjust and go, adjust and go. And you're going to move in the direction of your goal if you do not quit. It doesn't matter if you're selling houses. It doesn't matter if you're building bodies. It doesn't matter if you're building a team of life coaches like I am now. It's all will work if you continue to take action and don't stop.
That's the key. I think it's very important, regardless of where you're at. If you take action, you adjust and go, you adjust and go. And I like the way you put it out. It's really like it's key to being happy, seeing your progress, and going towards success in your
Yeah.
life and business.
Yep.
Period. It's just like, because I think there's too many people today that are just waiting till the perfect moment. The reality, there's no perfect moment. It's just like, just do it, which is, like the Nike slogan from many years, but it's simple. Just do it.
Yeah. Just do it and don't expect it to be perfect. It's okay. You're going to get feedback, even if something doesn't work exactly the way that you want to. You're going to get feedback and go, oh, that doesn't work, but maybe if I change this little bit of a formula and go. And like you had mentioned about coaching or getting advice from mentors, it can be through books, it can be people, like I work with people directly, connect with a human being, or just watch somebody. You can watch their story, watch their biography, learn what they do some of what they did. Success leaves clues every time.
So you're also, so I want to come to an interesting story. So you're very friends with Common. He's your
Yep.
client as well.
Hmm.
You've launched actually something, I think a few months ago with him. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Can you tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about it?
Yeah, what he did was we connected for something called Common Well, because his name is Common. So Common, and then well-being is a big part of who he is. He's a very a health-centric human being, and he's a very conscious person. He's a rapper who's very successful, but in everything that he talks about, it's all about helping and guidance and things of that nature. And most of the people in his world, or most of the people who he speaks to, don't have a ton of means. He's a rapper. He speaks to the inner city. He's a very conscious black male, and a lot of people in our community don't have the means and
He
the
gives
money to
back,
do things.
he gives
Yeah,
back his time and money when he
yeah,
can to the communities.
yeah. So what he did is he created a 6-part series, a 5 or 6 part series of different people in the wellness industry that he could work with. I'm his personal trainer, and I've worked with him for years. So we did an entire segment on personal training, and I'm also a coach. So we did emotional spiritual well-being. He did something with gardening, like an inner city gardener who
It's
actually
amazing.
can plant and do work in your inner city. He did work with an art therapist, somebody who uses art to be able to create emotional well-being within herself and within himself. So he had a 5 6 part series called Common Well, and it's on the Common or Think Common YouTube channel. You can go there and watch all the episodes right now. It's brilliant.
Yep.
So he created this thing for people. You don't have to have a lot to be able to do the work. He worked with a nutritionist on there as well, and it was fantastic. And he's going to do it again also.
And I know I see you guys sometimes, and I actually tried it a few times. Do you guys still do the live
Yeah,
training on
yeah,
Instagram?
yeah. We do. We've done probably maybe 20 or 30 workouts on Instagram Live. So I've been training him for years, and we work out when he's in town. We work out every day. Like we're
Yeah.
gonna work out as soon as we're done today, and me and him are gonna jump on at 10 o'clock. But
Awesome.
what he decided to do is during the pandemic, everyone was stuck at home. And I wasn't coaching him in person anymore. And all of a sudden, we got on Zoom and we started doing work. And he's like, dude, how about if we jump on Instagram and do this? I was like, let's go. So we did a bunch of workouts together on Instagram. It was fun. And then in the very end of October this year, he went on the campaign trail and he did a bunch of campaigning for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And he did
Amazing.
like 2 weeks of campaigning in a row. And then he went to film a movie until the end of last month. And now he's back, and we've been working out again as normal every day. And whenever he says, we'll jump on live. Maybe tomorrow, maybe today. Who
Amazing.
knows?
I'm,
But
I'm
whenever
gonna
he
check
says,
it
we go
out.
on live.
I'm gonna get back to one of your workouts. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah,
It's awesome. So
yeah,
anybody who wants to get a really cool workout with Yancy and Common,
yeah,
make sure to follow Yancy and
yep,
Common, of course.
yeah, of
And
course.
you'll see him, live and have a really cool workout.
And all the workouts are all saved, by the way. They're all, if you go to Common's page on Instagram and then hit the IGTV tab, almost all of our workouts are all saved on that page. There's dozens and dozens of workouts, so you can go do them. But then when we jump on live, jump in with us and have a good time.
For sure. So I have a few questions. So how do you start your day? Because I think the way we all start our day sets the tone for the day. I'm all about early mornings. I'm all about meditation and moving your body. I mean, it's not new, but it's something that it's a good reminder, and everybody has different routines. How do you start your day, and what is a typical day in Yancey's life?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much for asking. So I have a coaching curriculum and I have steps that I work through with each person. One of the steps on the coaching curriculum is how you start your day. It's starting your day off right. So what I do it a couple different ways. One way is I wake up, I throw on AirPods, I throw on my favorite podcast, favorite speech, or favorite talk, and I go for a walk for about 20 minutes. That's the first things first because I start my training sessions at 6 a.m. So it's kind of early for me. So
I
I wake up.
remember. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember when I was in LA, it was always like 6 a.m., boom, all the way through the end of
Yep.
the day.
Yep. All the way through the end of the day. So usually I have a great one from Tony Robbins. It's like a 23-minute talk in which he does three things. He has a breathing exercise to get your body energized. He goes into a discussion about gratitude, things to be grateful for. He sees healing light come through your body. This is all over the course of 23 minutes. And then also he sets up visions and goals for what you want to achieve. All this in 23 minutes. And then celebrate, which is one thing I always do with people. Celebrate your
Celebrate.
successes, even if you're just seeing them in your mind. I do that, something form of that. Or right now I've gotten on this kick of yoga, Kundalini yoga, something I used to do back in the day a long time ago when I was newer at Equinox, do Kundalini yoga every day. Right now I'm waking up and I'm doing anywhere from 35 minutes to 50 minutes of Kundalini yoga every single day. But the thing is it's very important to start your day with energy, vision, and seeing what you want instead of opening up,
Visualization is very, very important.
instead of waking up and opening email or going on Instagram or Twitter and seeing what's going on out in the world. No, set your intention. You decide the way you start your day. And when you set the tone for each day, it's going to set the tone for your week and your entire month, year, and your whole life. So start it off with that instead of a barrage of emails with, what the heck am I supposed to do today? No, wake up and get into motion that you desire.
I think it's very important, to block that your time especially in the morning. It's like my time from 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 or 5 to 8 or whatever, those 2, 3 hours in the morning can completely change your day. And I think the fact of being disconnected from social media, emails, all these things, unless it's urgent, but going for a walk, listening to a podcast, meditating, going for a strength workout or a run, anything that, stimulates your mind and body,
Yes.
you're good.
Set the tone of your day as a champion. Someone asked if I meditate. Yes, I meditate more often than not. And I've been a meditator for about 20 years. And when I'm meditating more often than not, I'm a lot more serene and I make decisions from the right place. You also asked, what's my typical day? So my typical day really is dedicated to my clients. So I have personal training clients, which I have somewhere between 7 and 10 a day. And I have life coaching clients who I have one major session with them every week, but then they check in with me every day. So I have 1 hour session with them a week, and then we can have a phone call that's 5 minutes, text message chain, email chain. So it's all devised around my clients and how they're set up through the course of the day. But in my breaks, so I basically work from 6 a.m. to like say 8 p.m. or
Yeah.
so. And then I have a life coaching company. So there's 4 of us and we get together at the end of the day and we decide what's next. What are we working on next? And we get together on a Zoom call and we talk about what's next. We have something very exciting in January coming up. I want to tell you the basic seeds of which have been planted. And then I close with my team at the end of the day. And then at the last bit, I just kind of cool down. I chill. I read something. I turn the lights down low and I relax. So that I'll watch something like Queen's Gambit or some kind of cool TV show that that I love.
The biggest show of all time right now.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and then I go to sleep, man. And I only sleep probably for about 6 hours. But if I have time in the middle of the day, because my work day is so long, I'll try to even catch like a little nap or something like that. But like a day like today is big full. We're going full gusto. So I'm just gonna go from beginning till end.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, thank you so much for coming to an end. Thank you so much for, being on my show. We had a fantastic conversation. Everybody who doesn't know Yancy yet, feel free to connect with him directly on Instagram. Yep. You can DM him. If you need any sort of coaching or even fitness training and you're in the LA area, he's your man. He's just honestly the best person. He's not only an amazing, fitness trainer and coach. He's just an amazing person and friend. So I highly recommend him. So connect with him. And Yancy, when are you coming to Miami?
Good question. I'm probably gonna get there this winter sooner rather than later. I think I'm gonna make a little stop off in Atlanta, and then why don't I just continue on? I'm trying to figure out COVID and all these things. But real quick, go to yancyberry.com. yancyberry.com is the place to connect with me. We have the most exciting program ever coming up in January. Okay, it's going to be a group coaching program. We don't have the exact title yet, but a lot of people are getting through this COVID time with all kinds of like drinking and doing whatever they have to do to just survive.
So anybody,
we're kicking off something major in January. Have fun and come and join us.
So
it's going to be fantastic.
Anybody around the world can connect, and you're going to have.
We're going to have a major January kickoff. So go to yancyberry.com to connect, and we're going to be in this next week. We're going to put a great program up. You're going to be able to join and have a lot of fun with it.
Awesome. Well, Yancy, thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who connected. I know I have my friends from London, Tel Aviv, Los Angeles, Miami, New York. A lot of people connected on this live, so this is great.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to, if you missed the live, you'll be able to see it on my IGTV and feed in a bit.
Yep. Message me anytime. Be well. I can't wait to see you, man. I hope to see you very soon, Benjamin.
Thank you so much, Yancy. Love you.
All right,
see
guys.
you soon.
I love you. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.